Hey folks, Tim here, TV Sports. So we're going to go over some bicep and tricep workout today. So a couple ideas to do, but first we're going to get started with the warm up. I'm going to show you all the couple of different things to do, but then for a shorter version. But then take it upon yourself after this to add in the different the more amount of reps and more sets and stuff like that. But here we go. I'm going to show you a couple of things to do. First, we're going to get warmed up. So. We want to warm up the whole body, so not just biceps and triceps, but the whole body. So first we're going to get started with so it seems like scarecrow way. So you're here and you're going to go to your right arm down to your left foot, like this. You can do about 10 of these. And then do the other side. When you swing, your left hand goes to your right foot. All right. So what that stretch is going to do is you're really going to feel it in your sides. So every time you go here, you're going to feel it here. When you go here, you're going to feel it there. So it's really going to work your core as well as actually going to work your back and your spine as you're doing that rotation down. So it's going to help loosen up that lower back a little bit. You do some of that twisting mobility. So all right, next we're going to do lunges. So you're going to do front lunges, then you're going to go diagonally, then you're going to go reverse lunge, then reverse diagonal. Okay? So looking at me, it would go here, here, straight back, diagonally back. All right, do that. Now that was all with the right foot doing all the movement. Now it's the left foot doing the movement. So straight forwards, straight diagonally, straight back, back diagonal. All right, you're gonna keep doing that. You're gonna do about 5 per leg. Okay, so it's gonna be a good amount of lunges. That will work your hips, your thighs, your hamstrings. It's really gonna loosen a lot of that up. For more advanced, if you want to step it up a little bit, step the challenge up a little bit for you, you can do jumping lunges. Jumping lunges will look just like this, okay? So you will go down to a lunge in this way, but now, instead of coming up and then going back, you're doing that all in the air in the jumping fashion. So it'll be like this. Okay? So be careful when you're doing that with your knees hitting the ground. You want to try to avoid your knee hitting the ground. If you want to do that when you're first getting started to avoid the initial impact of your knee and really just kind of learning that to how far your knee needs to go down when you're jumping. Because when you go to jump, you don't want this knee to slam down on the ground. So you can have, if we're at home, we have a comforter or a pillow or something like that underneath that area, or a yoga mat or something like that. That would be good to do that. So there's options there. All right. Then we're gonna just find a balance point, or you have something to hold on to. Throw your leg back, toe tap down, straight ahead, back. Get your balance good. Back, toe tap, forwards, and then you're gonna do that with the right leg. You're gonna do that 5 times forwards, 5 times backwards. Then the same thing with the left one. So the left one, same way. We're going to go back, toe tap, forward. Same thing. Back, toe tap, forward. Back. All right. Now, when you get really good at it or more confident with it, you don't have to do the toe tap. You can go straight back and you can go to a swing. So that would look like this. All right? And you do the same thing with the other side. All right? Then you might need to have something to hang on to when you do this one. Preferably, you would need to. So you have or something to press against, like a wall or something like that. So you would press your left hand against the wall. Imagine there's an imaginary wall here. Left hand to the wall. Your left leg is going to be on the ground. Your left leg is never moving. Your right leg is what's going to move. We're doing a swing. This is going to loosen the hips. So you're going to swing it. Swing your right leg here. It's going to go out. It's hard for me to do it. I'm not actually holding a wall, but just imagine there's a wall here. So you're going here, there, okay? And then you can do that with the right side. The right side is right hand to the wall. Right leg is straight on the floor. The left leg is what's doing the swinging now. So it's going to here. Just like that. Okay? So the ideal range of motion is when you're doing this, when left leg is swinging, or left or right leg is swinging out, it needs to come up as high as you can stretch, okay? So it's just about like that. I mean, don't do it where you're pulling and popping things too bad or it's hurt really, but just where it's a good fluid motion. Don't really so much force your leg up. Go to the point to where it wants to go. If it wants to stop right here, don't press it up there. Just do the swinging motion. Basically, the more momentum you have from here going up is the higher it's going to go. So you're going to try to build that momentum down here so it'll swing up high. It's a swinging motion, just like a swing. You're swinging, at the jungle gym or playground. It's a swing. The faster you push it up here, is the faster that swing is going to go up here. Same thing with the leg. All right. So now we're going to do air squats. So air squats here. Your feet are going to be about shoulder width, maybe a little wider than shoulder width apart. Your heels about shoulder width apart. Your toes can kind of be slightly angled out. You're going to press your hands straight ahead. They can be hands clasped or just out like this. It's a balancing technique. You're going to come down. So as we're doing this, we're going to keep looking ahead. Keep our chin parallel to the floor. If we do this, we'll end up hunching over more. So you keep your chin parallel to the floor. When you're doing this, keep looking straight ahead. When you go down here, make sure our hips want to come parallel to our knees. And we'll come back up. So our back needs to be straight up and down. So when we do this, we don't want to go like this. That's not good. No, we want our back to try to stay, our shoulders and our hips to really stay in line the whole time. Okay? So you would do 10 of those. These are just the warm-ups, so you don't have to do 3 and 4 and 5 sets of these warm-ups. I mean, unless you want to, but you can just do one set of all these warm-ups. So that's that. So then we're going to do backwards and a backwards rotation, like this. Okay? Little mini windmills, little minis. Do that about 10, and then you're going to go forwards. So now we're going the other way. All right, now you're going to do the big windmills, okay? So you can do one arm, going forwards, and then you go backwards. Do that with both arms. Do 10 each both arms, okay? So 10 forwards, 10 backwards with each arm. If you want to do singles, that's fine. If you want to do them both at the same time, you can do that too. Okay? Me personally, it just kind of really depends which one I'll do, but I feel like doing one arm, I can get more of a solid rotation. My arm is actually coming fully up like this with one arm. If I'm using 2, right, that's about as much as I'm going there. But one, I'm going all the way here. So I kind of like the single arm sometimes a little bit more, but I use that a little bit more just because I can get more of a rotation. So that's that. Oh yeah, so other thing we're going to do for our legs and our hips is what's called karaoke. So karaoke is left over right, right over left, right over left. There you go. Okay, so you're just alternating. So your feet are going like this, okay? So, and you'll do it you can start walking. You can start off with a walk, okay? But eventually, one when you get almost of a skipping manner. So well, this is going to be toe taps. So basically, your toes are what's tapping the ground every time. So you're never really coming flat-footed. As fast pace as you can do with that. All right, next we're going to do jumping jacks. Okay, you're going to do those. Me personally, I get out about 100, sorry, not 100 jumping jacks. I get out about 20 jumping jacks, 15 to 20 jumping jacks to get warmed up. And then in my workouts, I'll put in jump rope. I'll have jump rope in there. Sometimes I'll warm up with the jump rope. I'll do 100 jump ropes. So that's just me personally on that. All right. So now that's the warm up. All right. Unless you need to do anything more, we can do some more for the arm. So here is arm over. I do it like this. I clasp like this. You can do it like this. That's fine. All right. So we're gonna just do a couple of pushes. Stretch there. Same thing with this side. All right, just get a couple of tugs, okay? All right, we want everything to be really loosened up. All right, so you can do a manner like this. Like I said, once again, we're using momentum. We're not so much getting here and trying to press it. We're just letting momentum swing us around, all right? You can stretch it back a little bit. That's good. You can also go here. So you'll grab an elbow, you'll press it back, and you'll just touch your opposite shoulder blade. Okay? So it'll look like this. All right. All right. Now for the tricep bicep workouts. So. All right, so we have some dumbbells here, and you're just going to do some curls, one at a time. If you want to do them one at a time, this is great. Do them like this. You get about 10 per arm, okay? Then we're going to do tricep extensions. So we just did our bicep, working like this, working this muscle. Now we're going to do tricep extensions, working the back side, okay? So be like this, same weight. You can go lighter if you need to, all right? We're going to put our hands just going to be resting on the elbow. We're going to press it up, shoulder blade, press up. Do it with the other arm. And same thing applies. You get about 10 per arm. So that's one set. So first you're going to do 10 of the bicep curls, okay? 10 each arm. So if you want to do them like this, or you want to do them alternating, or you want to do hammers, which is just holding the weight going down. And so you do 10 of that, all right? Make sure you get 10 of those each arm. Then you're going to do the tricep extensions, just like that, 10 each arm. That's the set, all right? This is in a superset fashion. So you give yourself 30 seconds rest, and then you're going to do those again. All right. So you can, get you anywhere from three to four sets, something like that. Weight is up to you. Your intensity is however much you want it to be. So do that. Like I said, 3 to 4 sets of 10 of both of those. Then you can either do floor benches where you're laying on the floor and you're just bench pressing up, or if you have a bench, that's cool too. So these weights are what I'm using the same weights just for demonstration purposes, but your weight's going to be different. So now I'm going to be doing a bench press. So it's going to be there. Now, what I do to add intensity to my bench presses is I hold 6 inches. while I'm doing it. That's working both my core and I'm getting working with my biceps and my upper body. All right. Then, so now we just did a pushing motion. So now we want to do a pulling motion. All right. So what you can do with that is you might need a resistance band this time. But, so we're gonna have a pulling thing. So it's a resistance band up here, so we're gonna be pulling it. Just like that. All right? All right, there we go. And you do that with both sides. You can do it to where you can almost do a face pull with it. Take this off and ideally, you want it to be in the same motion that you were the exact same motion that you were doing in the bench. So in the bench, we were pressing from our chest. Okay, so this is where we want to be pulling. We want to be pulling at our chest in the same range. So you have there. All right. You get both arms. Okay. So the resistance is pulling to us. The eccentric is letting it go. Whereas when we were doing the bench press, the contraction part of it was pressing out. The eccentric, easy part was letting it come to our chest. Here's the opposite. It's harder to pull to our chest. It's easier to let it go away from our chest. All right. So you're going to do that you're going to do 10 of the benches, or you can do 12 of the benches. Then you're going to come do 10 or 12 of those we just did there with the pulling back to our chest. Okay. Then, again doing that, we're going to do military presses. With military presses, it's not like it's close to a shoulder press. It's kind of in between a shoulder press and a bench press. So a bench press is straight from a chest. A shoulder press is straight up. A military press is kind of diagonal. So this time, find something to lean against. This is the simplest way that I do it, so you can do the same. Okay? So, weight's there. You're just going to press here. Okay, so your body is kind of leaning like that. So what you're sitting against is going to be here, and you're kind of leaning. This is your body. And you're kind of leaning. So therefore, you're pressing the weight is kind of going this way. So when the bench press, we were pressing this way from our chest is here. We were pressing this way. Shoulder press would be from our shoulder, really, if we were standing up, it's here. But we're kind of going diagonally with that, okay? So, same thing. So, get your right body positioned. All right. Now, we'll go back to the resistance band, and this time it's going to be at the top, where I actually showed you the very first time, where we're going to be pulling the weight from up here. Okay, so we just pressed here. We're just doing a military press. Now we're going to find something at that height where we can pull this way. Okay, so working the opposite. Lastly, we're going to have, let's see. Now you can do a declined bench press, which a declined bench press is where your head is going to be lower, your head here is going to be lower than your feet here. Okay, so your literally body's going to be like this, head to here, feet higher. And you're going to be pressing in this way, okay? Like that. So you're going to kind of be pressing like this. I don't personally like doing this, but that's up to you if you want to do it. You can skip those if you like, but the alternate version is going to be, and we can actually correct this a little, actually, you don't even have to do that. But, so the bent over row, you're going to be bent over, knees slightly bent, and you're just going to row, okay? That's it? Nice. All right. Oh. So if you don't want to do the decline bench press, the way you can manipulate that and do it a little differently is you can get you a resistance band just like we did before, and you can position your body in the right way, and you can do resistance where the resistance is coming from here and you're pressing those resistance bands straight down, or kind of in that same motion just like this. Okay, so the resistance is you're pressing from here to here. Okay, this is easy, this is hard. So concentric, eccentric, concentric, eccentric. Okay, so now when we just did the bent over row, this was harder, this was easier. Whereas the resistance band is, this is harder, this is easier. Harder, easier. So that's how you want the resistance. You want to be working the opposite. So, all right, folks, that's triceps, biceps today. It's going to work your chest area. It's going to work your triceps, your biceps. Really, your forearms are going to get a little bit of workout too. We're also working our core, a couple of different areas. So I hope this was a helpful hint for you. When you got tricep, bicep day, this might take you 30 minutes maybe. So it's a quick way to get the day started or ended or in the middle, wherever you want to do it at. So hey, I'm Tim, T-Fit Sports. You got any questions? You got my page now, so hit me up. All right, see you folks.